Junior year of college, I lived in the oldest residential dorm on campus. Naturally, the building had some ghost stories tied to it, but nothing extreme. The basement was creepy, though. Unfinished, ugly cement walls and floors, cobwebs hanging off the old lighting, etc. The laundry facilities were down there, and people would always try to get laundry done before it got too late at night, because it was unsettling there alone. There was also a locked door in the basement. Like many other students, I had a proclivity for exploring in college, and I picked many locks to get into some interesting places. I never had any luck with this one, though, which was disappointing, because I was very curious about it. It was kinda in the corner of the basement and couldn't have led to a very large room. It seemed so random, almost like a broom closet, but it wouldn't have made much sense to have a utility closet in the basement. I tried many unsuccessful times to get into that door. One day, after a string of long nights burning the midnight oil to finish assignments, I finally got work done early and was looking forward to some good sleep. Then a friend called with a personal problem, and I walked to meet them. Then another friend called. Then after 1 a.m., a third messaged me. I'm not a sociable person, so it was emotionally and mentally draining helping 3 friends in one night. I was happy to chat, and I value being available to people. But it was such a strange, unlucky coincidence that 3 people needed me in one night, especially on the one night I was looking forward to early sleep. Oh well. So at around 2:30 a.m., I was walking back to my dorm, mentally drained and frankly irritated that I was getting back so late. As I was fumbling with my keys to fob into the building, I felt this weird tingle on the back of my neck. Suddenly, I felt an overwhelming desire to go down to the basement. The staircase leading to the basement is immediately inside the building. At first, I thought I was subconsciously remembering that I left my laundry in the wash or something, but then I swear I felt a voice say, "Come down to the basement." I got into the building and just stood there staring at the steps to the basement. It made no sense to go down there. Even worse, if someone was up late doing laundry, I'd seriously creep him out if I just wandered down there for no reason. But that prickling feeling on my neck remained, and I swear I again felt a voice in my head urging me, "Go down to the basement just for a moment." To be clear, this wasn't a scary moment. If anything, I was feeling excited. The best thing I can compare it to is when Harry Potter took Felix Felicis and said that he just felt like Hagrid's is the place to be. I knew I should go down the steps, or at least it felt like something was telling me I needed to go to the basement, and so I did. I turned on the lights, saw no one at the washing machine. Nothing. I just stood in the middle of the basement floor, waiting a second or two for I don't know what. I felt silly, but whatever. I was sleepy, and it was time for bed. I turned around to go back up the stairs when I saw the locked door was wide open. I almost ran forward into it, but as I got closer, I realized my assumption was right. It was a tiny room, barely bigger than a closet. But it was empty. Well, almost empty. It oddly had a single desk, like the small single desks for elementary school kids. So odd. So out of place. From the ceiling, a single old light bulb was hanging over the desk. The only other thing in the room besides the desk was an old, beat-up computer chair. The kind that spins. And the darn chair was spinning. Slowly, but steadily enough that it wasn't from a draft. No one else in the basement, no one else in this weird tiny room, and it was spinning. I sprinted away up the stairs, sprinted up the 3 flights to my dorm, slammed my door shut, and jumped into bed.
I was reading the fourth Harry Potter one night. Close to 2 a.m., I guess. I had the book on my pillow in front of me, the only light a crappy little desk lamp that just made enough light to cover the opened book, when all of a sudden I saw some movement just outside that lit area. I totally froze as I watched a spider, easily as big as my whole hand and really dang hairy, slowly crawl across both pages of the book, about 20 centimeters away from my face. It crawled back out of the light, down the side of my bed, and into one of my shoes. I took a minute to catch my breath, then grabbed the shoe, stuffed it with some old socks, ran out of the house, and chucked it into the woods next to our street as far as I could. But man, that minute of watching that spider crawl across Chapter 7 and realizing it had probably already crawled over me and sat just outside my vision for who knows how long. Brr. Edit, because I just thought about it. That was my first run-in with those spiders, but certainly not my last. I also once had one of those jerks crawl right across the TV screen while watching Alien late at night. I swear they secretly teamed up to give me a heart attack before I turned 20 or so. It got less scary over time, though. The most annoying part of seeing one was having to find the other one, too, as I quickly realized they almost always came in pairs. Still glad I didn't know that the first time I met the one on my book. I was 14. I might have burned the whole room down if I'd known back then. That first time, I never saw a second one. I don't even want to think about it. Also, to get rid of them, catching and releasing worked best, even though it was a pain, usually involving moving furniture in the dead of night. My dad, weighing about 150 kilos at the time, once tried to kill one by stepping on it. It made a horrible cracking, like squelching sound that'll haunt my nightmares forever, but somehow it was still alive when he lifted his foot. It clung to his shoe for a second, then scurried up the wall. That was the first and last time we tried killing one. Because the only thing scarier than a spider running away is a spider running away with a few broken legs. And now, excuse me, I need to find something strong to help me forget those images again.
My girlfriend, now wife, and I were sleeping one night. I usually sleep like a log, except sometimes I'll wake up just before a loud noise, less than a second, but enough to notice. This time, I jolted awake to the sound of a branch cracking outside our window, which was directly to the right of the bed. I opened my eyes, and there it was, a massive owl, like ridiculously huge. At a guess, maybe twice my size, but definitely taller than me. It was perched outside, staring straight at me, wings slightly raised like it was about to crash through the window. For reference, our bedroom was on the second floor. I quietly nudged my wife awake. She stared at it too, frozen, until after a long moment, the owl let out a screech, a horrible, piercing sound, and flew off. Turns out my wife had seen it twice before, but thought it was just some weird half-dream. This time, though, she was shaken. And that never happens. In the 17 years I've known her, dating, then married, almost nothing phases her. She barely even laughs. I can count on one hand the times she has. But this rattled her. She said the screech sounded like someone she knew screaming, but she couldn't remember who. Seeing her like that left me feeling lost. She's always been my rock. So I swallowed my own fear, pulled the comforter up, and held her until she fell asleep. That same night, I had a recurring dream. A black figure so tall that when he sat in a chair, his knees nearly touched the ceiling. Just like before, he gently touched where my head lay. And like always, I felt the presence of my grandfather, my mom's dad, who died before I was born. Mom always said we would have gotten along great. Somehow, despite everything, I slept better that night than I had in years.